Every year, more than 2 billion rolls of Mentos are sold across the globe, adding up to millions enjoyed every single day. It's one of those candies that has managed to stay instantly recognizable while constantly refreshing itself with new flavors and styles. Few sweets move at that scale, and Mentos has turned it into a worldwide routine. But how is the factory process like? Well, let's uncover all that here at the Process World. Mentos didn't start out as the fruity rolls stacked on supermarket shelves today. Their story goes back to the 1930s in the Netherlands, where two brothers, Michael and Pierre van Melle, came up with a peppermint candy designed to freshen breath. Simple, small, and easy to carry, it quickly became known as the Fresh Maker. That little tagline would stick for decades, shaping the brand's identity. By the 1950s, the world had changed, and so had Mentos. The company realized people wanted more than just a hard mint, so they began experimenting with texture and flavor, creating the chewy version that still defines Mentos today. Suddenly, fresh mint wasn't the only option. Flavors like orange, lemon, and strawberry gave the candy a new personality and made it fun as well as refreshing. Through the 1960s, Mentos spread across Europe, carried in the new roll packaging that made it easy to slip into a pocket or bag. That simple packaging move turned Mentos from a local sweet into a travel-ready snack. Decades later, Mentos even landed a surprise role in pop culture when videos of Mentos dropped into soda bottles exploded across the internet, making the candy a science experiment as well as a treat. But how is it made? Well, before we get into that, please leave a like and subscribe for more amazing videos like this one. Now moving on. Every Mentos roll begins with a lineup of ingredients that sound simple but are chosen with care. Sugar makes up the bulk, giving each piece its sweetness and body. Corn syrup joins in to keep that sweetness smooth and chewy, making sure the candy doesn't turn rock hard. Coconut oil is added in a form that stays solid at room temperature. That's what keeps Mentos stable in heat and cold while giving it that silky bite. Citric acid is next on the list. It adds a tiny tang that balances the sugar and keeps the candy tasting fresh even months after it leaves the factory. Then come the flavors, sometimes natural, like mint or lemon oils, and sometimes lab-made for the wilder options. These flavorings are checked carefully, so every Mentos, whether minty or fruity, tastes the same no matter where it's made. Behind the scenes, suppliers are chosen not just for quality but also for how responsibly they grow, process, and ship their ingredients. Sugar beets, coconuts, and citrus extracts are passed through a chain of safety and sustainability checks before entering the factory floor. Once the ingredients are ready, the real transformation begins inside massive stainless steel mixers. Sugar, corn syrup, and coconut oil are combined in carefully measured amounts, and then heat is applied to bring everything together. The temperature has to be just right. Too hot and the sugar could burn, too cool and the mixture won't blend properly. Skilled operators and automated controls keep the balance steady, creating the thick syrup that forms the heart of every Mentos. At this stage, citric acid and flavorings are introduced. They spread evenly throughout the molten mixture, making sure that whether you're biting into a mint or a fruit flavor, each piece carries the same freshness from start to finish. Large mixing blades churn the blend, smoothing it out until it reaches a glossy, sticky consistency. The goal is to create a base that's chewy yet firm, one that can handle the next steps of shaping and coating without losing its texture. Every batch is closely monitored, with sensors and quality checks confirming that the mix has the perfect balance of sweetness, tang, and chewiness. By the end of this stage, the raw ingredients have fully changed into a candy base, ready to be shaped into the Mentos we all recognize. Now, cooling too quickly would make the mixture brittle, while cooling too slowly could leave it too soft to handle. So factories use specialized systems that bring the temperature down at the perfect pace, keeping the chewy texture intact while making the base firm enough to move along. Once the consistency is right, the syrup is pushed through an extruder. This machine presses the mixture into long, steady ropes, each one identical in thickness. The ropes are then guided onto conveyor belts where slicing machines cut them into neat, bite-sized cylinders, the familiar Mentos shape. Precision is everything here. Each piece needs to be uniform, not only for a consistent look, but also so the candies fit perfectly into rolls during packaging. Even at this stage, the pieces are still a little delicate. They're carried gently by conveyor belts designed to reduce jolts and bumps, ensuring they don't crack or flatten before they move on. Then comes the stage that gives Mentos their iconic bite: the sugar coating. The freshly cut cylinders are loaded into massive rotating drums that slowly tumble the candies around. As they spin, a fine mist of sugar syrup is sprayed onto the surface. Warm, controlled air dries each layer, locking it in before the next is added. This process isn't rushed. The coating builds up gradually, one thin layer at a time. Dozens of passes through the drum create the smooth, crisp shell that balances the chewy center inside. If the coating is too thin, the candy won't have its signature crunch. If it's too thick, it could overpower the texture. That's why machines and operators carefully monitor the timing, airflow, and drum speed to get the balance just right. Once the layers are complete, the candies go through a polishing phase. Food-grade waxes like carnauba are applied, giving each piece that glossy shine you recognize the moment you see a roll of Mentos. After the sugar coating is complete, the candies move into carefully controlled drying rooms. These rooms are set to the right temperature and humidity, so the coating hardens evenly, while the chewy center stays soft. If the environment shifts even slightly, the balance of texture could be lost, so sensors track every detail to keep conditions steady. Once the drying is finished, it's time for quality control. High-speed cameras and laser scanners check each candy for cracks, uneven coatings, or irregular sizes. Any piece that doesn't pass is pulled out instantly. Alongside the machines, workers also perform hands-on checks, tasting samples, pressing gently to test the chew, and making sure the flavor matches the standard that Mentos is known for. Every batch has to be uniform, from the shine on the outside to the tang or minty freshness inside. If anything feels off, the batch is adjusted or discarded. This step ensures that no matter where Mentos is sold, whether in Europe, Asia, or the US, the experience stays exactly the same: smooth shell, chewy inside, and consistent flavor. Once the candies pass inspection, they're ready to be packed. In this stage, high-speed machines sort the Mentos pieces and count them with precision. For the classic rolls, that means 14 candies lined up neatly before being wrapped in the familiar paper and foil. Each roll is sealed tightly to lock in freshness and printed with details like batch codes and expiration dates. Not every Mentos ends up in a roll. Depending on the market, the candies are also packed into bags, boxes, or larger bottles designed for sharing. In recent years, eco-friendly paperboard bottles and recyclable packs have been introduced as part of the brand's sustainability efforts. No matter the format, the goal is the same: keep the candies safe from moisture and maintain that smooth, glossy shell. As the final step, rolls and packs are boxed, labeled, and prepared for shipping to distribution centers around the world. From there, they travel to stores where they're instantly recognizable by their bright branding. By the time you pick up a roll, it has passed through an entire system of automated packaging, sealing, and careful handling, all designed to deliver that same chewy, refreshing experience every single time. And that's it. Now to you. If you could invent a brand new Mentos flavor that's never been made before, what would it be? Comment down below as you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.